right, so does that mean we can go ahead and start?
Should I now on the phone? Can I log back in and watch or not?
Should be able to, I think.
Yeah, let me try this.
Yeah, as long as your microphone's off and you won't have any feedback.
Yes. Okay.
You let me know when you're ready, and then I'll kick us off.
Okay. Okay. Hold on 1 second.
It's underway. Good morning. I am Mario Gangemi, the chair of the MDTA Capital Committee, and conducting this morning's meeting, and hereby call it to order at 9:01 a.m. In accordance with the live streaming law, this meeting is being conducted via video conference and live streamed on the MDTA Capital Committee page. As a reminder, all members of the Capital Committee will have their video active during the entirety of the meeting. We are aware that Member Cox is having technical difficulties, but he is on his phone, as well as he can visualize us on the computer. We just can't see him. To minimize background noise during the call, I do ask that everyone on the line mute their phones or computers. And when you are presenting or answering a question, to turn your video and audio on when speaking. And when you are done, please turn the video off and your audio back on mute, unless, of course, you're a member of the committee. There are no members of the public, no elected officials, and no media that have pre-registered to comment at today's meeting. Therefore, we can move on to agenda item number 1, which is approval of the open session meeting minutes of April 6, 2023. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
So moved by Member Cox, seconded by Member Gaines. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that was all of us. So we can now move on to Sonia for approval of MR 3031-0000, which is on-call electrical and ITS repairs and services. Good morning, Sonia.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sonia Thomas, ITS and electrical engineering manager at OEC. Today, I'm going to present the contract MR 3031. This project is a multi-award contract to provide the labor, equipment, and materials necessary in performing miscellaneous electrical, ITS, and other types of repairs, upgrades, replacements, and new construction as directed by the engineer in an on-call or a task-based manner. The work may be required on any MDTA assets, bridges, tunnels, highways, buildings, or any structures or any of the MDTA's facilities. The engineer's estimate for this contract is $4,047,746. And we advertised this contract on February 17 this year, and the bids received on March 15. We received 3 bids on the contract. The lowest bid submitted by Dvorak in the amount of $3,877,000. This is 4% below the engineer's estimate. And the second lowest bid submitted by Mona Electric Group in the amount of $4,707,620.71. This is 16% higher than engineer's estimate. And third bid submitted by Bronner Builders in the amount of $4,878,648. This is 21% higher than engineer's estimate. So this is a multi-award contract. So we recommend awarding to 2 contracts to Dvorak and Mona Electric each. We performed a bid justification and found both of the bids to be responsive and acceptable. Dvorak has a successful history for working for MDTA, and Mona Electric, they have worked with MDTA on recent on-call contract and performed acceptably. And they were both qualified to perform the work based on their experience questionnaire. MPE goal for this contract was 16% with no sub-goals, and the VSP goal was 1%. Dvorak and Mona Electric, they both have submitted the MPE goals, which is higher than the required percentages. We do anticipate NTP for this contract in July 2023, and the contract duration is 1,095 calendar days. So we are seeking recommended approval from Capital Committee to present this contract to full MDTA board in anticipation of contingent recommended approval for the contract award.
Any question from the committee members? Then I
I
guess,
got a question.
yep, go for it.
I don't quite understand the recommendation that, I mean, we were bidding on a job for 3.8 million, now we're gonna award $11 million worth of work. Is that right? I don't see
No,
how we got there.
I mean, what was your question? Like how much we are awarding them?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this was like a I think somebody raised her hand, but like yeah, this was like a multi-award contract. So we are awarding them based on the proximity to the engineer's estimate, based the bid's proximity to the engineer's estimate. So we are recommending awarding to Dvorak 6.5 million and Mona Electric 4.5 million.
I see that. So how did you get those numbers? You took their unit prices and then made new, established new units required, is that?
No, it's just the based on like the proximity of their bids to the engineer's estimate. So those who submitted the lower bid, they get the higher value. So we will get the work at the best value to MDTA. So they will get more budget. I mean, more money from the contract.
But they'll use it, they'll use the unit prices that they submitted in
Yes.
the bid.
Yeah, that's the base.
I mean, I think the confusion comes in that the engineer's estimate's 4 million and we're
Yes.
awarding $11 million worth of work. That's the, certainly I understand his confusion.
Okay.
Obviously,
so
the
total-
items changed to equal $11 million. I get it.
Yeah, we plan to award up to 3 contracts, but like we're only giving 2 based on the bids.
Okay.
Or did you think about giving them all to Dvoraks since they were a fair amount less?
Good morning, members.
Okay.
This is Sushmita Mitra for the record, Director of Engineering for MDTA. So the contract and the IFB was advertised with up to that MDTA would award up to 3 contracts, and it is also a not to exceed contract. And MDTA has the discretion based on the IFB to award it to, like, whether to select 2 contracts and the award amount. So this is a unit prices contract for most part. So, so even though we are awarding more than the engineer's estimate, we are just, the scope of work will be just expanded or over that. So the prices still stay the same, and it's a not to exceed. So we are not going to increase above that. So we are able to achieve more work with the $6.5 million. Because our original budget was we could have awarded up to 12 million for up to 3 contracts. So we are awarding 2 contracts within that budget to 2 contractors, and it's a not to exceed. And it
Didn't make that clear on the proposal on the messaging here. If you pick Dvorak to do the whole thing, you'd be closer to 10 million, wouldn't you?
I mean, ideally, we try to pick more than one contractor. First of all, that helps us spread the business across different contractors. And the other thing is because this is an on-call contract, there's also a lot of, sorry, I'm just getting a lot of feedback here, but there's a lot of, there is a lot of emergency work. So we always want to make sure that we have enough crews to cover our work across the authority. So having 2 contractors who are readily deployable and they can be, called on for emergency or any kind of repair work is essential to us. So, and both these contractors have work history with MDTA and they have performed successfully before. So we feel confident with these 2.
But you'll call Dvorak first since they have the lower pricing, I guess, right?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Jeff
Thank you.
Davis had his hand up at one time. Do you still want to say something, Mr. Davis?
I'm going to answer the member's question, which Shashmita got on, and she covered it.
Okay, gotcha. That's what I thought you were. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So we need to make sure when we present this at the board meeting that it's clear that the comparison of the bids versus the engineer's estimate and then what we're actually awarding, which is on the, $11 million range. Make sure we explain that to the board when it's presented at that meeting. So I will entertain a motion to approve this contract.
So moved.
So moved by Member Gaines. Second, I think that was Mr. Enzer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I didn't hear Member Cox. I think I heard him.
Aye.
I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. All right, good. So that was all of us. Awesome. Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
Now we're going to move on to Jeannie. As soon as I get to it. All right, Capital Consolidated Transportation Program Process and Additions. Jeannie, are you on here? I do not see her on the list, but she could also be one of those phone numbers that are on there too. Anybody pinch hitting on that particular item?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that myself, to Jim Harkness. Jim, do you have someone lined up for the CTP additions and, item here?
I will. I'm trying to check on that right now. I don't have any information about Jeannie, so I'm trying to find out what's
Yep, understood.
what's going on. Hold on 1 minute.
Mary is running downstairs to see if she's in her office, her or Jennifer.
Thank you. Wish comes to shove, I can read it.
Yeah, no, one of us will take that, Mario, or member Ganjemi. Sorry about that.
Okay.
We,
Nope.
I was kind of debating between either Jim or I just doing that now to keep things moving.
We can wait a few seconds.
Okay. Just comment too, we will, member Ganjemi, as you mentioned, we will update the narrative for the full board presentation for the last one call. But just to comment on that, we have in the past, instead of doing a multi-award contract, we've advertised individual separate single contracts with the intention of ensuring that we have multiple resources available to respond to emergencies, as Shashmita mentioned. And unfortunately, the low bidder that won the first contract then won the second contract as well. And so that redundancy of resources for these kind of on-call emergency response contracts wasn't there. And then we've had a history of actually encountering challenges with that. So that's why the team has elected to do that multi-award process, because it does give us assurance that we have a redundancy available for emergency response.
Thanks for that added narrative. That's important. And again, like you said, that'll be part of the presentation to the board. So that'd be great. Thank you.
Member Ganjemi,
Yes, ma'am.
Jennifer Stump will be joining us to go over the next agenda item. Just give us 1 second.
No problem. Thank you. Just so everyone knows, Member Cox is going to give me a hard time for running the meeting extra long today.
Well, let me tell you something. By 3 o'clock this afternoon, you can be done, okay?
All right.
No problem.
Member Gangemi, I apologize. We were trying to get Jennifer to hop on. We're unable to get a hold of her. Will, do you want to go ahead and proceed with the item?
Sure. Jim, would you prefer to present, or do you want me to take a crack at it and I may ask you for some help?
No problem. I'll take a shot at it.
Okay.
My
Thanks, Jim.
apologies in advance if it sounds like I'm reading at you guys. So
It's all good.
all right.
We know
It
you
is.
will do well.
All right. So good morning. My name is Jim Harkness. I'm the chief engineer for MDTA. And this morning we are presenting the CTP process and additions item. So we are providing you with a review of the MDTA CTP and the new projects that we've added for this current version. So as you know, every year we release the CTP for our ongoing and also our new capital projects for a 6-year period. The current year, our upcoming budget year, and then 4 planning years. So what we're doing in this update is we have projects that are separated into 3 programs: construction, we have the development and evaluation for major projects, and then we have system preservations. So I think I'll move down to the project selection. We have a variety of areas where our project needs are identified. The major one of those is the long-range capital needs item that we perform each spring. We run through that process. We also have ongoing inspection findings every year. We have regulatory compliance needs. We identify areas where we need enhancements. And then finally, we have some local priorities and legislative requests. Moving down, we'll get into attachment A. Attachment A lists the new projects that we have added to the program for this year. The first project that you'll see is the 4th generation electronic toll collection and operating system. Right now, this is for planning only. So we have identified the need for what will be our 4th generation of ETC. And so this project initiation allows for the start of looking at lessons learned from the project plan and design approaches, benchmarking against industry for other procurements and contracts for these similar services, developing strengths and weaknesses for evaluation of proposals, making decisions on how to arrange contracts, schedules, scopes, developing the RFP, and support for the review and selection process. Our second project is the license plate recognition, or LPR, system upgrade. We currently have a system utilized by our police force that uses the technology for identifying license plates automatically, and this project will maintain that system, upgrade the camera system, and I think we have more than 84 of these cameras deployed throughout our facilities. The third project is the pavement mill and overlay of the Fort McHenry Tunnel, as well as the Harbor Tunnel. This project is for engineering to start evaluating the pavement conditions and identifying the appropriate treatments for the pavements on those two facilities. The fourth project we have is to rehabilitate the upper plenum liner and ceiling at the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel. So the reduced height of the ceiling in that tunnel has led to some overheight vehicles striking and causing damage to the ceiling tunnel. So we will be looking to perform engineering in order to try to harden the tunnel and make the repairs to the ceiling that are necessary for that. We're now moving to page 2 of attachment A. This is this first project on this second page is the Maryland House Water Tower rehabilitation. So this is the water tower that's at the Maryland House as part of it, part of the life safety system there for providing protection for the Maryland House, as well as the domestic water supply. That tower has had some needs, and including some emergency work recently due to a leak. We've been working on that, but we need to perform additional work to make sure that that stays in a good state of repair so that we can keep the Maryland House open and reliable. Second project on this page is the drainage improvements of I-695 at Quarantine Road. Again, we're looking at the engineering only on this project. This is funding that will allow us to study the need for addressing some previous flooding issue that we've had at this site. We've need to investigate and remedy the water drainage on 695. The third project we have here is to clean and paint I-695 bridge over Bear Creek. This is just part of routine system preservation for that structure. The fourth project we have on this page is the rehabilitation of the Curtis Creek Drawbridge. Again, engineering to study the repairs needed for the structural steel of the cantilevered basketball span. We're also going to be looking at repairing the waterproof membrane and the sump pump equipment in the sump pits for the bridge. We're also including upgrades to the navigational light as well. And our final new project is a new on-call structural repair and modification contract for the Bay Bridge. This is a cyclical contract similar to the ITS and electrical that you've heard previously. This one will continue to address the inspections and needs at the Bay Bridge. That completes the list of the new projects that will be added to the FY 24 to 29 CTP.
You did all right, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you for pinch hitting. Appreciate it. Member Cox, you had your hand up. Was that by accident, or you actually have a question?
No, I'm good. I had one. I'm good. He answered it. Thank you.
Awesome.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
On the license plate recognition system, will that give us the capacity to replace from all 50 states or just Maryland? Do you know?
No, the system should be able to read any registration plate that passes under it. So it's it's able to, it uses the character recognition to be able to report on all those registered registration plates. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved by Member Cox. Second by Member Enzer. All in, any discussion? Guess I should ask for that. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, that was everybody. Thank you, everybody.